Thank you. Uh, but depth communication between ecosystem is still limited. And let's dive into what interoperability means and why it's important for Web3. So first, what is interoperability? Usually it is defined as ability for chains to exchange data and assets or connect interact between chains. But engineering definition is system A can invoke or reuse component of system B without changing either system's internal guarantees. From my point of view, Web3 today mostly focus on the first definitions, but dApps actually need second one. Let's talk about decentralized applications, especially DeFi. Real need from interoperability. First of all, they need cross-chain communication, an ability to easily send and receive messages between different blockchains, to reach users, liquidity, reuse code, and have access to dApps. Second, they need access to fresh data. Dapps might read data from other chains almost in real time to make decisions based on up-to-date information. Third, they need atomic execution when an operation involves multiple chains, and very important to keep business logic stay in one place where dApp can access to actual data from all the chains it needs. A part of the logic is in Ethereum usually, or a part of the logic may be on different chains, for example on Solana. And in that sense, logic is split and very hard to keep things correct and synchronized. And finally, they need low latency and scalability because cross-chain separation must be fast and with low latency, and with high number of transactions can be processed without delays. In short, dApps need interoperability that feels as fast, secure, and smooth as everything happening in one chain. And now let's look on chain focus interoperability, how it is work. When you start transaction on chain A that need to interact to chain B, and DeFi logic will be split between these two chains. But here is a problem. It is called uncertainty principle. You either know the current state of chain R or current state of chain B, but not both with the same certainty and freshness. As a result, DeFi applications usually make decisions based on the data they have from chain A because that's where the transaction started. And this limits the true potential of multi-chain applications. And what kind of interoperability we have right now, like local mini bridges, IBC, XMP-like solutions for ecosystems, cross-chain messages like ZL0, XLR, etc., or ZK creation bridges, but basically it comes down to a message passing. And let's consider a simple example, a Uniswap-like pool for just one pair, from Ethereum, Eth on Ethereum to Polygon and Pol. How it's possible to implement using message passing. For example, user may send a kind of a log transaction, exchange transaction to the first chain, to Ethereum. Ethereum is locked there, and message passing services send message to Polygon to exchange that Ethereum to Pol based on some bending curve, and after that it needs to send a message back to the first pool to change bending curve settings or to unlock user's funds if exchange haven't happened because of maybe slippage or something else, and to send Polygon to user if transfer was successful. And the logic became complicated because you need to track bending curve on two sides, on Ethereum side and Polygon side. everything could be solved by intent-driven architecture, but it won't be in a single pool, right? And if we go one step further, and we may have one pool between many chains at the same time, it's good concern. We may have such pool between many chains, because it utilizes liquidity much better than for one chain. The logic became complicated much faster, because we need one message to send destination chain that liquidity was locked, and n-1 messages to update bonding curve on many different chains that are connected to the same pool. And you can see the complexity is growing very fast. And in that case, we want to have one single source of truth for such application. And we believe that we need Atelerix, that we need a fundamentally different approach to interoperability. And the core idea is to have one single source of truth for cross-chain operations. Instead of treating each blockchain as a separate world that talks to other, Atelerix creates a unified environment where all upchain events and transactions can be brought into one common frame. And you can think about upchain as a supernode that can consume all state of many blockchains in one place. And you'll have one source of truth for your application. And the trades will happen on that upchain. And they will be atomic. Updates of bonding curve will become immediately. And you just need to send one message with funds to user if transfer exchange was successful, or to return user's funds if transfer was failed because of slippage, or send a locked transaction to user, or maybe you want to have a different processing, like create some limiter functionality because you have an upchain, it's your upchain, your rules. And we believe that we did a big step in engineering interoperability because our solution allows is an upchain platform that allows our chains to be interoperable among many chains that will be connected to our platform, not only EVM compatible, but also Solana, Bitcoin, and etc. And we have several layers that allow us to do it. First of all, we have safety liveness layer. It is backed by several restaking protocols and our validator. Then we have multi-chain layer, and that layer allows our application to read data from external chains during transaction processing. It means that every upchain has access to event of any connected chain. And moreover, we also allow upchains not only to read, also to write data to external chains, just to send transaction to them. As a result of the execution, and this transaction will be signed by a TSS threshold signature and sent to corresponding chain. Also, we have on top of everything sequencing layer that allows to sequence data from external chains and upchain transactions in one place to make it deterministic. We rely on DAG-based consensus from Phantom, and we expect to have finality in 500 milliseconds, something like that. And we have application layer. It's a place where upchain lives, because upchains are a kind of microservice, and the only thing you need to implement is how do you process your transactions and blocks from external blockchains. This allows you to focus on business logic only and economics and avoid any infra stuff. if you want to write your own chain, just need to write how to your process and make a Docker container from that function, and deployment will look like sending transaction with payment from chain and Docker image hash. And the chain becomes single source of truth and business logic for your decentralized application. And also because model of nature of our platform, your chain can become scalable and not limited to one server, and you can implement sharding whatever you want. Wait. And let's enable secure ordered loads interoperability with architecture that's like our that embeds global state views like Atelerix and remove whole class of complexity. Atelerix is about atomic cross-chain DeFi, multi-chain HT, chain agnostic gaming, and much more. And thank you for listening.
Do we have any questions? No? All right. Thank you very much, Boris.